guys, we're back for another adventure.
Today we are at Crossbar Ranch in Davis, Oklahoma.
Davis, Oklahoma.
And never been here before, and so it's an adventure for both of us, and I should say all of us.
Yeah, because you're coming with us too.
Yeah, so Davis, Oklahoma is about 2 hours north of the DFW airport, and there's a lot of, I've been told there's a lot of rocks, there's some mud, there's some creek beds, and pretty much anything you want to get into is out here.
That's right. Looks like it has a main road that's fairly long throughout the park. Then a good looping easy trail, which is what we'll pretty much hit today. And should be able to see some interesting climbing areas that have some viewpoints. So maybe we'll be able to see some Jeeps and side-by-sides taking those on.
Yeah. Hey, let's tell all the kids that there's a thing called air down tool.
And you want one for Christmas?
It would fit in my stocking. About $30.
About $30?
Yeah, surely they can all pitch in $1 a piece.
We don't have 30 kids.
Are you familiar with the air down tool?
No. Tell me about it.
It is basically you can screw it onto your valve stem and you can preset it for like 15 pounds of pressure, and you just screw it on all 4 tires, and once it reaches 15 it shuts itself off.
Cool.
And so you don't have to sit here with a screwdriver poking at your valve stem.
Seems more reasonable.
Yeah.
And there are a ton of campers. This is like the 4th camping area that we've come across. This is the primitive area where there's no hook. There's hookups. There's hookups out here. This is crazy. But so if you're looking for a place to come out and do trail rides and play around on your Jeep or your side-by-side or your ATV, this is probably the place. Okay guys, so here's the map, and as usual it gives you a rough idea of this, but the trails just are never marked, and I don't know why that's so difficult. So we're working it out. We are fairly certain we're right here on this main road part, and so this is what a main road looks like, where we should cross into an easy green trail here in just a moment. That's a loop. So that's what we're trying to find at the moment. But we have some pretty views of the windmills.
So dear, tell me what you think about the map.
I can't, we're recording.
Y'all, so
it's worthless. Worthless. This is the worst marked park that we have been in yet.
And enjoying the trails, but we have absolutely no idea where we are, pretty much.
No, and we still haven't been off the main road, really. We took a green loop maybe But we don't actually know.
Yeah. And the map probably does match the park, but the thing is, none of these trails have any signage hardly whatsoever. We haven't seen the first sign of anything.
It's ridiculous.
And,
there's some kind of random stickers that sort of mark the trail, but it doesn't. It's awful, okay?
Yeah.
The park is beautiful. The roads are great. It's just the right level of fun to not even have to worry about it too much. But nothing is marked in a way that is freaking useful.
Yeah, so if you're... I think one of our issues is both of us need to know where we are at all the time. We don't like rambling aimlessly. We want to know where we're at. And that's pretty much not the case here. And so, you know, unless it gets better, you know, I'm just not digging it so a lot. But we're off-roading, we're having fun. No, we're not. But anyway, we're having fun.
Who the heck makes a sign with arrows that point down?
Pretty. I don't know how we got here, but we made it. It's definitely up and down. It's some steep footage. And, we'll show you on this other camera. But hey, how y'all doing?
Pretty good. How y'all?
I don't know.
That's probably the easiest route right there.
I was gonna say, are you familiar with what's the easiest way out of here?
I live right down the hill. Yeah, that's the easiest road right there.
And does that lead back to one of the main roads potentially?
No, it goes down to Dead Man Slide. Yeah, and then it goes down. If you go right, it goes to Rock Face. I wouldn't go no farther than that. And then if you take around and come back around the Dead Man Slide, it kind of opens up back to the main road. And if you stay left the whole time, you'll be all right.
So you know what happens when you ask a drunk redneck how to get down a mountain?
He sends you down a mountain.
Something like this.
It was definitely an adventure.
Yes.
We learned a couple points. And one, Jen says, never take directions from a
Drunk redneck.
I can't say redneck.
Yes, I can. Okay, look, he was a good old boy. I have nothing against it. I married a redneck, okay? I understand. I'm fine with it. But when they get drunk, they get stupid.
She feels like we were handed a wrong set of directions.
Purposefully.
I don't know, it was rough. Anyway, we made it. And so the second point about this park is that we don't want to harp on it too much, but the map is done beautiful. The trail markings are pretty much non-existent.
Yeah.
So what point is it to have a beautiful map
That doesn't reflect
but it
reality.
doesn't reflect reality?
Yeah, I mean, they spent money on the maps. They did a good job with the maps. They look fantastic. They did a good job with the maps. They're beautifully produced, but they're a beautifully produced piece of crap because you cannot follow the map through the park. There's too many trails that aren't marked. There's too many trails that aren't even on the map to begin with, which they told us, but it's a real problem. And then some of the iconic things that I have on their map are not necessarily easy to get to in such a way where you feel like you can follow the map to them. So it really impacts the enjoyment of the park, not because it wasn't a great park, because it was. It was exactly the kinds of trails and things that we tend to like. It was not real extreme, although we got into some stuff that was kind of above our comfort zone because it wasn't well marked. But you know, they were wide, they had good trails, it was pretty, it was rocky, there was some mud and some water to splash through. All that was a lot of fun, and we would have had a blast with it if we had been secure about where we were within the park. But because we weren't, it really impacted the way we enjoyed it.
And there's no way to put it, but we basically spent 4 hours at that park.
Completely lost.
And we were lost the entire time.
Yeah.
And you know, we asked a couple people directions, and they kind of pointed us in a direction. But as soon as you leave it, as soon as you leave them, it's like you come up to a crossroads.
That's not marked.
And it has no idea which way to go. You know, you have 3 options.
Yeah. And there's one section of the park that has some decent signage, and it's not beautifully produced, you know, it's not professional, and I don't care about that. There's at least some signs, and those were helpful, but that's the only section that has them. And
now I do want to say that it's very apparent, and they told us that the park has just been bought out.
Yeah, well, they didn't tell us this. I saw it on the internet when I was reading some reviews about this, that within the last year, it looks like, the park was bought by a new group, Powersports. What is it? Hang on. Sorry. It was bought out by a new group called Powersports, and they own they own 2 other parks. So that's awesome, and maybe they're going to make some big changes. They were working on part of the camp area, so it looks like they're working on it, and hopefully the trails will be a part of that soon.
Yeah. And my last point about this park that I can't put my finger on is Jeeps are definitely allowed, but I think we saw maybe 2 Jeeps the entire 5 hours we were there.
Yeah, and none of them were on the trail.
And no, I feel like that this is almost a side-by-side park. Yeah. It's not really advertised as side-by-side only.
But that seems to be what it's attracting.
Yeah, it's definitely full of side-by-sides, campers, RVers. A great weekend spot to come hang out if you enjoy off-roading.
Yeah, no, and I really do think that the more you use it, you know, you get used to the idea and the map and the trails, and it'd be fine. But for your first-time user, it's just really kind of, it was a hard day. It was still fun. We still enjoyed it, but it was a hard day.
And some of the trails that we basically almost got forced down. there's no doubt about it. They were made for side-by-sides.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I've
Our
got
paint job is awful.
Yeah, I've got the scratches all down my Jeep to prove it. And luckily, I'm not planning on trading my Jeep off. I'm keeping it forever. But I'm not saying I'm not getting something new, but I'm keeping a Jeep anyway. But you know, we definitely had an adventure. We're glad y'all came along.
That's right. We appreciate you watching this. We know that we do have some fairly loyal Jeep watchers, so we appreciate y'all tuning in. And if you will subscribe and click on the bell for notifications, you'll know when we put up new videos each week, and especially when they're new Jeep videos, because we have a lot of Jeep adventures coming up in the next couple of months.
Yeah. And real quick, I know it's running along, but there's still a couple more parks fairly close to home that we plan on hitting eventually. We want to go see Hot Springs in Arkansas.
Right, which is our home stomping grounds.
And we've been to Bridgeport twice, but we've never actually videoed Bridgeport.
So we'll probably do that again.
Which is the most popular off-road park for Dallas people.
And so we'll be happy to bring that. And hey, if you guys have a favorite off-road park that you think we should check out and maybe film for you guys, let us know in the comments and we will see about hitting those up. We're always up for an adventure, and we always hope that you're willing to come along with us.
Yep, so see you next time, yeah.